Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, new Toastmasters, I don't see any guests today. I'm currently working on a pathway project around dynamic leadership, being something that I'm striving toward. Part of this is to stop and reflect on the relationship between a mentor and a mentee. I was encouraged to think about who has mentored me in the past, how they have influenced my life, and what I've learned and what I want to pass that on when I become a mentor myself. So let's break this apart. Today I'm going to be talking about what is a mentor, who is my mentor, and what I've taken away and what I've learned and how it's influenced me on my journey. Now, a mentor, I could give you the textbook definition, but I want to really instead say what it means to me. A mentor is not just a teacher. It's not somebody who offers guidance. They're all encompassing. A true mentor becomes a coach. They become a teacher. They are a role model. They are a guide, a Sherpa, if you will, through this journey that we take. They are basically whatever you need them to be at that time, but they're looking at your world all encompassing, not just one point. We often think of mentors as being professional mentors. I want to be able to sell as much software as possible so I can drive a Ferrari one day. So I have this mentor who's going to help me do that. I would tell you to look a little bit further and a little bit deeper about what a mentorship really means. My mentor is Randy McDonough. He is my father-in-law. I married Nicole 9 years ago. I met Randy about 10 years ago, and he has really been a stalwart piece of my life since the first day that I interacted with him. The main things that he's taught me are to find balance in life, to look at the big picture, and to practice selflessness. Those three pillars, those three main key components are shown in his acts and who he is and what he's done throughout his life. And they have also set as guardrails for me as I continue to move forward in my own path. So let's break that apart and talk a little bit about what that means, beginning with finding balance. Now, Randy McDonough has done so much with his life. He really kind of breaks each area down into, we can look at it as 4 different areas: personal, professional, family, and then the social. He taught me that you need to maintain all 4 of those to have a good life and a good lifestyle. His personal life, every single day he wakes up at 4:30 in the morning, he works out for 2 hours. When he turned 60, I thought he was going to start slowing down. Instead, he climbed Mount Rainier. He'd never climbed a mountain before in his life, and he ran his first marathon at 60 years old. When he's doing these things, he also prays and does devotions, that his spirituality is another big part of his personal life and is kind of what guides him. In his professional life, he's the CEO and founder of Towncrest Pharmacy, a chain of pharmacies in Iowa City. He's also a professor of pharmacy at the University of Iowa and Loma Linda. He was just elected president of the American Pharmacists Association, meaning he will actually be going in front of Congress and Senate panels to talk about how pharmacies can be changed and better serve the people. With his family, every single year he takes a family on vacation. When his youngest daughter's boyfriend started a Black Lives Matter political action committee, he decided to sit on the board, not because it's something he believed in, but he wanted to pay that forward and become a mentor for this person who is so important to his daughter's life. Which leads to family. He's always been involved, focusing on family first. Everything he does, if you ask him, he will say drives from his devotion to his family. And then finally, social. When I was cast as the lead in a play in Northwest Iowa, 5 hours away, he actually drove up to see me in that play, made the 5-hour journey. He didn't need to do that, but he did that anyway. He talks about how those 4 pillars are like the 4 wheels of a car. If you lose one, the whole car is going to be undrivable. So you have to maintain that. He taught me that by finding balance, focusing on what's important, you keep everything moving forward. You keep that momentum to persevere. So he will tell you that maintain the balance of the social life in the sense of going and working out every morning so you can keep your body strong enough to persevere. And then also focus on what's important, family, but bring all that into the other areas of your life. So the second thing he taught me was to look at the big picture. So often we get bogged down with, I need to get this task done. I need to get this demo done because it's going to help me with this deal or something else, or I need to complete this one task. But we really don't always have the opportunity or mindfulness to step back and look at why we're doing everything as a whole, the big picture. That's where Randy does a phenomenal job. Randy's able to take a step back and look at the big picture, and I think he really focuses on his legacy. Not a legacy as in what you're leaving behind, but the legacy meaning what people remember you for and the impact that you had on this world with your time on this earth. When Randy became the president of the American Pharmaceutical Society, it wasn't because he simply wanted to make a big name for himself or make a lot more money. He's got money, he's doing just fine. But it's because he wanted to create change in the world. He wanted to make sure that he could properly serve the people in his pharmacy and in the world in a way that he could actually control. He tells a story about how we were on vacation one year and he almost quit the pharmacy that he started, because he could no longer deal with the PBMs and the bureaucratic BS, so to speak. And then his son, who was only in high school at the time, said, well, wait a minute, Dad, you've never quit anything before. And he's like, you're right. And so instead of being defeated, he said, I'm going to overcome this. I'm going to focus on the big picture and what I want my legacy to be and what I want to change. And instead chose to climb the ranks to the very top where he can actually affect that change. And so he taught me to look at the big picture. What am I striving toward? Why do I do all of this? And how can I affect change in my life and leave behind a strong legacy? And the final thing is practice selflessness. Everything he does for others. I'll admit, empathy does not come naturally to me. I have to remember to think of others and to ask them how they're feeling and how what I'm doing is impacting them. Knowing that this is a weakness is one of my better strengths, because now that I know this is something I have to focus on, it's more top of mind for me. But Randy, in all of his actions, is a perfect reminder that we need to put others before ourselves. When he's working out, climbing mountains, running marathons, running his business, his pharmacy, he's always putting others before himself, thinking of his family. And it's that piece, it's that thing where he puts everyone else on a pedestal, puts himself second, that allows him and has allowed him to be so successful in life and to truly work toward an amazing legacy. I could not ask for a better mentor. He has been incredibly impactful to me personally, and it's been through finding balance, looking at the big picture, and practicing selflessness. My task for all of you today, find somebody like Randy McDonough, and you'll be astounded how they can impact your life. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Stephen. Incredibly touching speech. I've actually already sent a LinkedIn request to Randy personally. So thank you for that. You made me realize I need to up my mentor game. But I would like to hand over to Mr. General Evaluator, Jeff McKinley, to kick off our evaluations.